let's start this off. NFC predictions. We're going to start off with the NFC East because it is one of the more predictable divisions in football, I guess we can say.
To a degree.
Especially in the NFC.
It's low-key difficult.
Now, for me,
what's difficult about it?
You'll see.
For me, I want to say this real quick. I've been seeing a lot of Washington Commanders articles about how they're going to finish towards the bottom of the league. I saw something from The Athletic that said within the NFC, they were talking about the Commanders are going to be in the running for the first overall pick, more so than they will be for the playoffs. Now, I think the Commanders are getting slightly underrated, but even at their best, I think they're going 7-10. I don't trust Carson Wentz. I don't trust that secondary. The Giants' quarterback play is bad. Brian Dable, first-year head coach. Offensive line is still below average. The defensive average is average. They released Blake Martinez because Dave Gettleman messed up their cap situation.
No James Bradbury either.
I got the Eagles winning this division. I think it's pretty easy for me. I think the Cowboys regress. They've lost out on so many players. Amari Cooper, Tyron Smith is now hurt. La'el Collins, Connor Williams goes to Miami. I just don't feel like that's a big-time loss. I just don't think that the Cowboys are going to win this division. I think it's the Eagles' one to lose, and the Eagles' future is in a arm strength and the arm of Jalen Hurts, right?
Yes,
I mean, Jalen Hurts has to have a big-time year for the Eagles, not only to make the playoffs, but to win this division and hopefully make some noise in the playoffs. Now, all around, they have a great team. It's really the quarterback play. How great can Hurts be? That's really what it comes down to. But the Eagles, I think, win this division. The Cowboys at second, the Commanders at third, and the Giants at fourth.
It's funny you were talking about the Eagles and it being on Jalen Hurts, of course. Absolutely, I 100% agree. But if the Cowboys win this division, that means that Dak Prescott's in the running for MVP. I firmly believe that because Dak Prescott has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders this season. You have no Amari. Your number one receiver is going to be CeeDee Lamb, who obviously has the potential to be a wide receiver one. He showed that last season. And now Dalton Schultz becomes your wide receiver two ultimately. Let's just be honest. Dalton Schultz is going to get a lot of targets. Sure, you have Jalen Tolbert. Michael Gallup will be coming back to the field eventually this season. But it's going to be reliant a lot upon Dak Prescott because you have Ezekiel Elliott, obviously. He's there, and they've been saying it constantly that he should be the focal point of this offense. I disagree. I think Dak Prescott needs to solidify himself as one of the top quarterbacks in this league, especially if the Cowboys do want a chance to win this division. Tony Pollard's going to get a ton of work out of the backfield. Absolutely, I do believe that. But if the Cowboys want to be in the running for the East, Dak Prescott needs to be playing at an MVP level. Now, even with that being said, right now that's tough for me to predict for the Cowboys to win the division, especially with all the losses that they've had. And I feel like I'm just going the safe route, unfortunately, and leaning the Eagles. But I don't love putting my faith in Jalen Hurts, to be honest with you. I need to see it week 1, week 2, week 3, where he's consistently progressing as a passer. There's already been reports that his accuracy is looking a lot better. I need to see it first, believe it or not. I mean, I've been very consistent with Tua. I'm going to keep the same. Tua, Lamar, and Jalen Hurts, specifically Lamar and Jalen Hurts, that I need to see it consistently as a passer before I can fully go all in. If he comes out and he's gun blazing, then of course the Eagles should take this division. As for the Commanders, I'm in the same exact boat with you. I don't think they're going to be amongst the worst teams in the league. I think that, yes, Carson Wentz is bad, but he's not bad enough that the Commanders are going to be in the running for the number one pick. I mean, you have the Seahawks, you have the Bears, you have the Falcons. Those are 3 teams easily I'm taking before I'm taking the Commanders to have the number one pick. I would take the Jets before I take the Commanders. I mean that to no slight to you guys, honest to God. I just think that you guys are a year away.
Texans
are another one, but we'll see. I mean,
there's another team in the NFC East that might be in that conversation.
Are you talking about the Giants?
Talking about the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's fair enough. 100% I agree with that.
They are shit.
I just think that, yes, Carson Wentz is not great, but he's not bad enough that they're going to be competing. And as for the Giants, I'm in the minority when it comes to the Giants. I don't think they're going to be in the competition for the number one pick. Do I think they're going to be a wildcard team? Absolutely not. But I think they progress this season. I think it has to do with Dabble and the new offensive scheme. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. These two need to be the absolute main attractions for this team.
Good luck.
What? What are we saying good luck to?
Because if you're saying Saquon, that's who you're putting your trust behind.
Saquon Barkley is
Kenny
still.
Galladay.
So you're talking about they need to have a bounce back year. So what are you talking about? Like 5 wins?
Absolutely.
Okay.
5-6 wins, and that's not bad enough to be the number 1 overall pick. Truthfully, I mean,
close.
Nah,
is that less? How many wins they have last year? Do you remember?
I think they had 4.
4. So
they'll be top 10.
Well, I'm looking at the Seahawks. Honest to God, if they won a game, I'd be shocked. Like the Seahawks really are not a great team overall. The Bears are another one. I love Justin Fields. I love Darnell Mooney. It just does not move the needle enough for them to win ball games. And the Falcons, they have a decent roster, but ultimately at the quarterback position, if you don't have it, you don't have it, and it's going to lead to losses. So right now, as it stands, I have the Eagles coming in first, the Cowboys coming in second, the Commanders coming in third, and in fourth place, unfortunately, the New York Football Giants.
A lot of the things you guys said for me, I mean, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East. Even if you don't understand, even if Hurts doesn't make the main jump or he isn't the guy you're putting your trust in, if you take the quarterback out, we have the best team on paper in the NFC East, and I don't think it's really close. So shout out to Howie Roseman. You know, he did his thing in the draft. He did his thing in the offseason. And I just think, like you said, Jalen Hurts does have to make that improvement. But if you look at our schedule isn't that hard. And if you look at our season last year, man, we beat all the teams we should have beat. We get those type of wins where we beat teams that aren't better than us.
That's true.
So I think right now you're looking at oh my God, do y'all hear me stuttering?
Nah, you're good, bro. You sound good.
Bro, mid-take, he's got to get his fucking McDonald's in.
Yeah, bro.
Orange Hossy's the only way to go at McDonald's.
Exactly.
Or the Sprite.
Sprite, soda sometimes messes up
Nah,
my
I feel you.
face.
I don't drink soda either, but I know that
Yeah, I had to
McDonald's Sprite
stop.
goes.
But yeah, the Eagles easily are going to win the division. Dallas has lost a lot. You know, I think shout out to Dallas because I think it doesn't get highlighted enough the type of young talent they have. I think their stars, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, they're all 24, 23 years old. So I think that's great. You have your stars who are young. Dak is a quarterback, so he can play for a long time. He's like 30 years old or something around there.
Mm-hmm.
So Dallas will regress, but I think they'll still be good enough to compete for a wild card spot. I don't know if they're going to make the wild card, but they'll be in the hunt for most of the year. I got Washington third place easily. You know, the defense I think is going to be there, but I think offensively Carson Wentz isn't just going to be that good. Terry McLaurin is going to be great, but that's pretty much it on offense. That's the only thing I see. I don't trust that offensive line.
Curtis Samuel, Antonio Gibson, you never know.
You never know. It's
Jahan Dotson, first-round pick.
Facts.
You never know. It's a lot of hopes.
Logan Thomas come back.
Too many
He's
hopes.
questionable week 1 already.
Is he?
Yeah.
Nasty work if you're relying on Logan Thomas.
And
then I have the Giants at the bottom of the division. Daniel Jones is cool. Saquon Barkley is nice. I hope he does bounce back because he was a dog. But Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard.
Throw some respect on Kadarius Toney. Sterling Shepard with Daniel Jones is solid.
He's okay. As a number 1,
Tony's
number
the
2.
most exciting out of all of these.
Absolutely. I agree.
Wandell's probably second.
Easily.
Wandell's good.
I'm not saying that I disagree with that.
Rondell 5'8".
He's 5'8", but he's all pink.
But when I asked about Rondell Moore, we slept on that. They the same height. So please don't do that.
He's like 5'5".
Rondell's like
we'll
5'7".
Rondell was a better prospect.
Rondell,
not Wandell.
Rondell,
Like
that's
the
what I'm
Cardinals,
saying.
yes.
Yeah.
He was a better prospect than Wandell was too.
Fucking dog.
Yeah. Rondell?
Yeah.
We'll see this year.
Agenda pushing.
Starting from the bottom, because you guys know how I feel about the Eagles, man. It's not if they're going to win the division. It's how far are they going to go in the playoffs.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Once we get to the playoff bracket, we'll really talk about it. But I want to start from the bottom and go to the top. I have the Giants coming in last place. I think they're going to be a top 7 pick this year. Is that nuts to say?
Bottom to the top to
Bottom to the top.
We're going bottom to the top this time around. I think the Giants are going to have one of the worst records in the NFL this year. What'd you say, bro?
you're nuts.
Said you're a freak.
If anybody catches that, hilarious. You don't got to worry about what I said.
The Giants are going to be bad. I think there's already edits out there with Anthony Richardson in Giants jersey. Daniel Jones after this year, he's not going to be the quarterback. Tyrod might see some time. Saquon is possibly gone after this season. They really need to tear it down so they can build it back up. This is going to be a lost season for them. So it's good to be hopeful if you're a Giants fan to get 5-6 wins. But in reality, that's just going to hurt you in the draft.
Quick question, Dehls. Who do you think is going to have more impact, Neil or Kayvon?
Kayvon.
Sorry, Kayvon.
That's a great question.
He's hurt right now, though.
Well, when they play, obviously.
When they play, it's going to be Kayvon easily.
But believe it or not, I feel like Neil.
I feel like that O-line, Neil can set the tone.
No, Neil, if he sets the edge for Saquon, then things get exciting because Saquon loves to run outside the tackles.
Yep.
And if Neil is that dominant force, then Saquon starts to get into space. Then the Giants' offense starts to click.
It's a great question. I lean Kayvon. I think he could be dominant quicker. But Evan Neal is going to be very important if they want to do anything offensively. So Giants, I have them going 4 or 5 wins, about the same as last year. I have the Commanders in third place. They're not as good as the Cowboys. They're not as bad as the Giants. I think they're kind of lost right now. When you don't have a quarterback, it's hard to figure out what direction your franchise is going in, especially with the ownership there has, really been a mess for the last few seasons. If you're a Commanders fan, I mean, you should have some hope for this offense. Wentz is better than Heineke, right, which is something, but ultimately they're going to come up short in a lot of games. And then I have the Cowboys in second place. Like you mentioned, Riv, they just lost too much. Actually, when I went back and redid their schedule, I had them originally with 10 wins. Now I think they have 8 to 9 wins. Losing Tyron Smith, losing Amari Cooper. These are just too big of losses to overcome. And these are guys that when they're out, Dak has struggled the most. I know everyone's expecting Dak to be great, and he's going to put up numbers.
$40 million quarterback.
They're gonna have to pass. Like,
You have to.
they could say it's Zeke's team all they want. Dak is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's going to get his shot, so he's going to put up numbers. But I've seen too often him struggle without Amari, without Tyron Smith. Worried about the Cowboys. I do think they'll be in that playoff hunt, but their absolute ceiling is first-round exit.
So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually just went through the Giants' schedule. Is it crazy to say they could win 7 games?
You're just being really
No.
optimistic.
All right, here we go. Week 1 against Tennessee.
L.
It's a loss.
It's not crazy to say they could win.
It's not
That
crazy,
early?
but I'm not giving them
All
a
right,
win.
I agree. I also have them with a loss, but it's not crazy. This could be an upset. Carolina.
Loss.
That's a winnable.
That's
a
winnable game.
That's a winnable game.
That's a winnable game, but I look at Carolina.
More
I
than
think I think Carolina's offensive line is better. The
like
receivers are better. The
Carolina's team,
quarterback
just
is
the
better,
quarterback, yeah.
and I think their defense is better.
All right, they have half a win right now.
Okay, versus Dallas. That's a loss.
Loss.
Versus Chicago.
That's a
Win.
win.
I have versus Green Bay. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Baltimore. Loss. At Jacksonville.
Win.
That could be a loss.
But that
though.
could be a
half.
loss too.
That's
Trevor
half.
Lawrence is going to be.
So actually,
Really good.
I apologize. Versus Dallas, I did give them a win. I have them splitting.
Dak Prescott owns the Giants.
He does, and he owns the Eagles also.
Yeah, but the Eagles have a good team now.
They do, but they went 2-0 last
The
season
second game
against the
hurts in a
Eagles.
play.
True. Okay. Bye week versus Houston.
Okay, winnable.
That's a win.
Versus Detroit. I gave them
That's
a
a
loss
win.
here,
I
but
know.
it's a winnable game.
It is.
That's a loss for me.
At Dallas, this is where I gave them
That's
the
a
loss.
loss.
It's a loss for me.
Versus Washington.
Is it
Winnable.
away or home?
Versus.
They'll split.
They're
I think
home.
they
4
split,
5.
Okay.
Winnable.
but they win that game.
Versus Philly. Are they losing both?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, lose.
We own the Giants.
Didn't they beat you once last season?
I don't remember.
I could be off my rocker, but I'm pretty sure.
Like 12-2. in, like,
At
the last 2
Washington.
years, so.
They
Loss.
That's a loss. At Minnesota, loss. Versus Indy, loss. At Philly, loss. That's
I had them
around
4 to 5 wins.
No, that's not around 7.
That's around-
For me, that was like 3 or
Well,
4.
I have them versus Dallas splitting, versus Chicago, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, versus Houston, versus Washington, versus Philly.
You just have a lot of the 50-50 games going in their favor.
the only
What's the 50-50?
real
Almost all of
Tennessee,
them
Carolina.
except splitting with Washington.
I didn't take Tennessee. I did not
Chicago's
take
still a
Carolina.
50-50 game.
Oh my God.
It is. It
Because
is.
Chicago's looking at the Giants and saying, we could win this
could
game
be our
too.
game. Okay.